Scaling your law firm doesn't have to be difficult. It's all about mastering a few key strategies, systems, and mindsets. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast, where we talk about how you can increase profit in your pocket and time in your calendar. My name is Caralee and I have successfully scaled my firm so that it doesn't solely rely on me. Now I love teaching other law firm owners how to do the same. Let's transform your business starting now. Welcome to another episode of the Scalable Law Podcast. It is so great to have you here. Now, just a reminder, if you have never left a review on this podcast, it would be wonderful for you to do that. I never know who's listening. It's interesting with a podcast because you can see how many people are downloading and listening, but you can't see who they are. And occasionally, well, actually more than occasionally, more like weekly, I'm talking to different law firm owners, and so many of you say, oh, I learned that on your podcast, or I heard you say that on your podcast, or I'm calling you to talk to you about the Scalable Business Lounge because I've heard your podcast, or I'm a listener to the podcast. So it would be awesome if you would leave me a review. It also, of course, helps others find the podcast as well. And it would just be great to be able to meet you. Because, I love meeting law firm owners, and that's an invitation, I suppose, if you have been thinking about joining the Scalable Business Lounge, if you need to either market your law firm, get more work in the door, or build a team or automate your firm. Those are the things that we help you with. So jump on and book a call with me. It takes 10 minutes. I'll work out if you're a good fit or not. In the first initial call, we don't talk about the program or anything like that. It's really just me asking you a whole lot of questions to see if you're a fit for the program. And if you are, then I invite you to a strategy call where we come up with a plan for you over the next 90 days on how you can either attract more clients, start building a team, or automate your firm. So jump on over to the website, book a call. I would love to meet you. You can also, over at the website, grab a copy of my free book. So with all the flurry of Law BizCon, I probably did not tell you that I had also launched a book. It was a little bit of a non-event, you could say, because I was in such a hurry to get the book done for Law BizCon, but then, of course, Law BizCon took over my life temporarily. And so we had the book at Law BizCon, and we had it set up in a vending machine, which was so much fun, and everyone at the conference got a copy. But you too can get a copy. You can either email me, and I would be absolutely happy to send you a free hard copy, or you can hop on my website and download a free copy for yourself at scalablelaw.com. So today I'm inspired to talk to you about this topic because during the accelerator program this week, I had my lovely law firm owners in there. So they're all firms that are doing more than $1 million turnover a year. And we're systemizing their practices so that they can start stepping away as the lawyer in the firm and really just focus on being the CEO of the business. We started talking about client onboarding, and particularly the onboarding process from that initial appointment or call through to the initial appointment, and how you can actually get your it working in a way that the conversion rate is higher. You can get it working in a way that you are not wasting your time, because as you know, there are so many people out there who want to ring their lawyer, our lawyer, off online or referral just to get some free initial advice. And one of the clients in the program was wholly frustrated, and I absolutely feel it for her. She had that morning got off a call, 22 minutes she said it took, and the guy was absolutely wasting her time. She was led to believe that he wasn't wasting her time. So her process is this, and this might be your process. Her process is a call comes through to the office and it immediately gets put through to her so that she can snag the sale, you could say. She is very proud of her conversion rate, and most of us as law firm owners do have a very high conversion rate. But it is frustrating when you're in substantive work. You have your head down, your tail up, you are in substantive legal work or you are doing something substantive for the firm, and then you are interrupted by a caller. And the caller is no other than a time waster. So how do you avoid that? And how do you make that sales process far more simplified? So we got into a conversation, and the conversation is this, and I would love to let you know what it is, because I think it's a different mindset for us lawyers on how to think about it. So the first thing is this: when you are doing a call with a client, an initial call, there is one purpose for you. There is only one purpose. I cannot stress enough what that purpose is. And that purpose is for you to retain the client. The purpose is to get a sale. And I think what we tend to do as lawyers who are trained to give advice is we give a lot of free advice during that appointment or that call, and it can end up that we don't retain the client after all. They just suck you dry and then off they go, probably calling another firm, hunting around for more advice. So I think understanding the purpose of the initial appointment with potential clients is really crucial in your business. And it's not just for you if you're a solo, but also for larger firms too. We've recently at Collective Family Law changed our process after my entire time of practicing. We have always given a free 1 hour initial appointment. We then cut it down to 45 minutes, but often it would go over. And the reality is that I was very stubborn in thinking that this was the way to do it. Now, the reason I did it like that was because I felt that it was our duty to give, and to give a lot during that initial appointment. And it was sort of a numbers game. The more people you get through, the more likely you are going to retain. There is some truth to that, but we don't have to, as law firm owners, give away our services for an hour at a time. So the year before last, we did 742 initial appointments. That's 742 hours in my law firm giving away free advice. And you're only retaining a percentage of those people because many cannot afford your legal fees. Many have no intention of actually engaging a lawyer. And many are looking for free solutions so they can go off and try and figure it out themselves. So I think the main thing here is thinking about the purpose of the initial appointment in the very first place. And the purpose of the initial appointment is to sell your service, not to give free legal advice. And so when talking to the lawyer who was frustrated with her 22-minute free phone call that interrupted her day, she had given a lot to this client in 22 minutes. She had given 22 minutes of her time. She had given a lot of legal advice, and all for nothing. And I can see how that is completely frustrating. And so I said to her, what we tend to do is give advice, but it's not our role in that moment to give advice. The purpose of the initial appointment is to sell your service. It's to sell your service. It's not to give your service. You are not a lawyer for that person until they have retained you. You are not an advisor for that person until they have retained you. Our goal in that initial appointment is just to sell the service. That is all it is. And so how do we do that successfully without giving advice? And how do we do that successfully without interruptions? So I thought I would tell you about our process and what we have been doing in my law firm and what I've helped other lawyers implement inside the Scalable Business Lounge and Accelerator program. So the first thing that we do is we have a very amazing team, and we have a lot of systems set up so that we can weed out the time wasters. So we are definitely questioning all of our clients, or phone call inquiries, I should say. And we are making sure that before they book in for what is now a 15-minute call, we are making sure that they are a qualified candidate. It is not our role to give legal advice or to have an initial appointment or have initial sales call with every single person who thinks they want one. It's just not viable. It's a waste of our resources. And of course, it's so frustrating, like my client in the accelerator program experience. It's so frustrating when you have wasted your time and you know that they are never coming back for any legal advice. So first of all, number one, make sure you have a process in place to weed the clients out that are time wasters or tire kickers before they get to talk to you or before they get to talk to one of your legal team. So how do you do that? Well, there's a few different things that you can do. First of all, if you have a great receptionist, which we are very fortunate to have, you can have a whole lot of questions that they should be asking. So for us in family law, one of the things is that there's legal aid services and we don't offer legal aid. So we straight up ask, do you require legal aid? We're very upfront about it. If they require legal aid, we point them in the direction of a legal aid firm or legal aid itself. And so in your practice area, there will be qualifying questions where you can disqualify people before they even make it into your appointment calendar. We ask a whole range of other questions as well to target our ideal client. So if they are not our ideal client, if it's not an ideal matter for us, we will move them on somewhere else and send them elsewhere. And I have no qualms with doing that because we are not in the business of giving free legal advice to anyone who, and particularly people who have no intention or ability to retain. So the next thing that we do is we schedule them in an appointment. And upon that scheduling, we have an automated process that sends them out a couple of things. One, it sends them a text message to remind them of the appointment and lock the appointment in. And two, it sends them a questionnaire and an email that sets the right expectations for them. We clearly communicate what the meeting is about. We clearly communicate what needs to happen next. And the next thing that needs to happen is that they fill out a questionnaire that tells us more information about their matter. And again, it's a qualifying questionnaire. So we are asking a whole lot of questions to see if they're going to qualify to be a client of ours. If they do qualify to be a client of ours, they get the appointment. If they don't fill in the questionnaire, they don't get an appointment with us. I have the thoughts and feelings that if you cannot fill in a questionnaire for 5 minutes about your own matter, how and why should we waste our time with you on the phone? So if they don't do that step, they don't get an appointment. So that's something that's really important, and it disqualifies them. They disqualify themselves. So that works really well. And then by the time people come to the appointment, we have a lot more information about them. And we know that they've made some sort of commitment to the free phone call that we offer. So we offer a free 15-minute phone call, which we have a loose script. And the script goes something like this: 5 minutes to tell us about their matter, 5 minutes for us to fill them with confidence and tell them how we can help them resolve their problem. And then 5 minutes giving them our offer, making the offer. So our offer is that they can either retain us if it's urgent or if it's simple, or they can pay for a 1 hour consultation at a discounted rate, which is about $350. And so then they are then further qualifying themselves as someone who will put money into their matter. And when they do that, they are much higher and much more likely to retain than someone who's coming for a free initial appointment. So what this has done for our firm is it has reduced time wasters. It's increased our conversion rate. We have reduced the amount of client agreements that we are sending out, which has reduced our costs massively, even in things like DocuSign, but definitely time costs for our admin team. We have reduced the number of follow-up calls that we need to do, because obviously we do follow-up calls after we see our initial appointments. So that gives you a little bit of an idea on how we do things at Collective Family Law. We certainly do not allow our team members to be interrupted by random phone calls. Because the substantive work that they are doing and are being paid to do by clients who are not only qualified, but clients that are committed because they're paying for the work, they are our priority. Whereas if we stop work all the time to take appointments or free calls that pop through, it's only disrupting the workflow and it's taking away time from our paying committed clients. So that is what we are focusing on this year in our client acquisition process. And it's working really, really well. And there are, lots of benefits to not being disrupted, to making people make sure that they're qualified, to making people qualify themselves by doing a little task like filling out the form, which is also helpful as well to us when we do our only 15-minute consult. And it means that we can turn around a lot more initial appointments and not have the time wasters, taking up time only to not retain. So that is what we do there. If you would like to head on over to my website, scalablelaw.com, you will be able to see in the show notes this formula. And you can go over there and check it out. Inside the Scalable Business Lounge, we have lots of different masterclasses on running your firm. And I give templates as well, and also all of the products that you need, all the tech you need, how to set it up. So, and systems and processes around that. So that's an example of one of the masterclasses that are in the program. So if you'd like to find more out about the program, you are certainly welcome to make a appointment with me to have a call, and I'm definitely happy to chat with you about your law firm. So I would actually love that. I love meeting all of you when I do calls. So that's all from me for now. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Scalable Law Podcast, brought to you by the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know how you can get more clients without relying on referrals, head over to scalablelaw.com to watch my free masterclass. Until next time, you have got this.